Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 video game. Race number 19 of 34 on this NASCAR Busch Series season. It is at the Chicagoland Speedway for the Twister 300. This is going to be a very good one here today. Just 17 races left on this season. Things are winding down. We're coming off a spectacular race yesterday at the Daytona International Speedway where Kenny Wallace got his second victory of the season. And coincidentally, again at Daytona, his only two season wins have both come on the high banks at Daytona. We'll see if he can maybe go back to back here today. He has been on a little bit of a hot streak leading into that win as well. As far as the season championship goes, Kyle Busch pulls away slightly from Kevin Harvick, now making it a 12-point championship standing lead. The win is about 5 points per position through the top 8, 4 per position from that all the way back to about 17th, and then 3 per position on back from there. It is going to be crazy to see how this is going to exactly play out. So like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We're going to get our first race of our doubleheader Thursday in right here, right now. Kyle Busch on the pole. Kevin Harvick will be starting fourth. Green flag in the air. We're underway at Chicagoland. Back to another mile and a half. Oof, a little contact. Harvick spun the tires on the initial start. Had troubles getting going. Still got into the 116 car. Now the 116 gets by him anyway. They're 3x3 down the back stretch in the middle of the pack. Kyle Busch all clear of Bobby Hamilton Jr. on his outside. Ashton Lewis to second, and Kyle Busch will lead lap 1 at Chicagoland. And my fan is going nuts in the background. My goodness. 5 bonus points for Busch. Bobby Hamilton Jr. going to try to cross over Ashton Lewis. Harvick going to go underneath. 3 wide for second place through turns 1 and 2. Harvick makes a very risky pass early on. He wants to catch Kyle Busch. He got a little loose off turn 4 in his qualifying lap, but it seemed to be like he was going to qualify on the pole, and that was just enough to bump him back a couple positions to the line. But as he closes in on the 5 of Kyle Busch, taking a little shortcut down to the apron through the tri-oval. Now we have a crash in the tri-oval, our first caution of the day at lap 3. That didn't take too long. Let's take a look to see what it was. 3 wide in the tri-oval, and it looked like the 27 of Johnny Sauter goes around off the front of, I believe, the 109 car of Lance Brantley. Well, 3 wide and just no room, and the two got together, pinching Sauter into the wall head first, head on. So 3 laps in, we get a yellow, and now we'll head to another restart. Patrick Chatterley, Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream, by the way, as well as everybody else already tuning in. A couple more laps left under the yellow now for Kyle Busch. Green flag back in the air. Harvick going to try not to spin the tires. He just doesn't have that great takeoff speed. That 5 of Kyle Busch really gets off to a great jump. Both times, Ashton Lewis underneath of the 25 car. Now Bobby Hamilton Jr. Harvick going to block Ashton Lewis down the backstretch on the inside. It looks like Harvick will hold on to second for now. Look how far ahead Kyle Busch gets. Harvick going to try to run him down. Seems like when it takes a lap or 2 for Harvick to get going, though. He really does get going. Should be a 3 pit stop race today. It could be a 2 pit stop race. I'd lean on it being 3. Especially with the Busch Series having a little bit smaller of a fuel tank than the Cup guys. Busch leads, though. We'll see if Harvick can find a way around him. He'll look to the inside in turns 1 and 2. Right in the center of the corner, he ducks underneath Kyle, but he's not clear off the exit of turn 4. Busch is going to hang on strong, trying to side draft that right rear corner panel into turn 3. Harvick slides up the track. No, not as much as I thought he was going to, at least. He'll hold the lead off 4. And now Kevin Harvick is going to get himself 5 bonus points for leading his first lap. Taking that shortcut through the tri-oval as well. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Cindric win. I mean, it was a good race. Compared to the Cup races at Pocono weekend, those Cup races were just absolutely spectacular. But the Xfinity race was still pretty good. It had a lot closer finish than what I thought it was going to be. Like, Ty Gibbs was so far behind him, then like the last 3 laps, all of a sudden he was right off his back bumper coming to the start-finish line. I was like, what the heck? It's like, how do you even close in that much? It's crazy. I've seen 4 Xfinity races, 3 of them this year, and all 4 races and all 3 this year especially, I've seen different winners every time. I saw Justin Allgaier win at Indianapolis in 2018, and then the only other 3 Xfinity races I've seen have all been this year. Talladega, I saw Jeb Burton win. Mid-Ohio, I saw A.J. Allmendinger win, and then I saw Austin Cindric win at Pocono. Oh, my bad, I saw 4 this year, because, I forgot about the Mid-Ohio one. So I've seen 4 this year, 5 total. So I saw Allgaier in 2018 win at Indy. Talladega, I saw Jeb Burton win this year. Mid-Ohio, I saw A.J. Allmendinger win. Austin Cindric at Pocono. And then this last weekend at Indianapolis on the road course, I saw... oh, never mind. I saw Cindric win again. Never mind. Forget I was even talking. That's the second time I've seen Cindric win a Xfinity race. Back-to-back, in fact. I don't know what I was thinking there before. I must have forgot the Pocono race the first time when I said 4, and then realized I just uploaded that today. No, I don't plan on getting Cindric merch. I don't get merch for really any other drivers, so if I have any, it's because it's left over from my grandpa or something. Kyle Busch made the pass off of turn 4, clearing Kevin Harvick for the race lead. Harvick with a little crossover to clear him off of turn 2 now. This season has been the Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch show. And boy, it has been fun to watch these 2 race it out week in and week out. And it is going to be a fun fight to the finish as far as the championship goes, knowing there are only 12 points separating these 2 coming into this race today. And they're both fighting for the most laps led. So far early on, I believe Kyle Busch has led a couple more laps than Kevin Harvick. No, I'm not getting a hotel this weekend. I'll be streaming. I won't. I'm trying to talk all at once. My goodness. No, I don't have any Joey Logano or Brad Keselowski merch. Just a big Blaney fan, man. It's like one driver's blowing an engine in turns 1 and 2 right now. He's going to get down towards the inside. Look at Busch. Underneath Harvick off turn 4 again. To the line, Busch leads another lap. Oh, Harvick squeezed it himself into the wall. Kyle Busch gave him plenty of room. Harvick couldn't hold the line. Tim Feeder won the 12 car. Been the driver in trouble there. Harvick going to go down to the apron through the tri-oval. Man, that got risky. I think Kyle Busch led the lap still. The big dive bomb into the corner to try and get around Kyle Busch again. But I will be at my house the night before the race and the night after. I should get home by about 8 o'clock. There's no need to get a hotel. If I know I'm going to get home before dark, no big deal. Well, even if I did, like, it's only an hour and a half drive. Like, that's nothing. I'll get plenty of sleep and everything, too. So. Sounds like a rattlesnake. Can you guys hear the fan in the background when it rattles like that? Or is it only driving me nuts? Oh boy. Thought Busch was going to slam the door on Harvick in the tri-oval. Kyle trying to hang on strong on the outside. Harvick clear again in 1 and 2. These guys are having a great battle. Yeah, they just played the fuel strategy wrong. I feel bad. Byron has been so close to more than one win this season, too. And I feel like the strategy is what costs him every time. Like this weekend at Indy, he qualified on the pole. I felt like he had a really good car early on. I guess he didn't have quite as good of a car as, say, Larson or Elliott. Okay, this weekend at Indy was bad. Bad explanation. But yeah, that Pocono race, I mean, he was leading late. They just timed the fuel strategy wrong. I mean, that was the only thing they did wrong. They timed it wrong to where he pitted 2 laps earlier than everybody else. Not everybody else, because Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin ran out of gas late in the race, too. No, I'm not going to the... I have to work on Saturday still. I didn't take an extra day off this weekend because I could leave Sunday and come back Sunday, no problem, for the race. So I didn't plan on going to the Xfinity race this weekend. I usually only go to the Cup race. This year I've gone to more Xfinity and truck races. Well, only one truck race, and that was at Pocono. But I'll go to another truck race this year at Bristol. But yeah, this year I've been seeing a lot more races like throughout the course of the weekend instead of just the Cup race. Usually I just go to the Cup race. And a lot of it is just because of trying to get the time off work. Like, I'm sure I could get the extra day off every single time to watch the Xfinity races, but then I'd have to leave like Fridays instead of Saturdays. I'd only be working half the week instead of 3/4 of the week. So, you know, for money purposes and stuff too. The Cup Series is the main draw for me, for sure. And if I get to see the Xfinity or truck on the weekend, that's an added bonus. But if I don't get to see it, I don't get to see it. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Byron won a stage at Pocono, too, if I remember right. Won the second stage. Kyle Busch scrapes the wall off of turn 4. Harvick gapped him about another car length through the tri-oval. Yeah, we've had one caution early in the race. It was on lap 3 between Johnny Sauter and Lance Brantley through the tri-oval. They were 3 wide. Sauter in the 27 car was in the middle. He just kind of ran out of room. The only reason I have it on is because I got back from the golf course like 15 minutes before streaming. And my car's been in the shop for about a month, and I just got it back a couple days ago, or got it back right before I went to Indy. And I've only played a couple rounds of golf since I got it back. Well, I usually walk, and I have like a walking bag, and I left it in my car. So when I was borrowing my grandpa's van for about a month before I left for Indy, I was having to get a golf cart. I was having to pay like the extra $12 for a golf cart every time I play. Well, then I went to Indianapolis, and it rained the Tuesday and Wednesday after work. Yesterday. Well, no, I played yesterday. Tuesday it rained, and then Monday it rained pretty much all day, so I couldn't go Monday on my day off there. Yesterday I went, but I forgot to grab the bag again. Well, I remembered it today, and when I had the bag today, I was like, okay, whatever. And I planned on playing 27 holes instead of 18, and it was pretty hot outside. It's like just below 90 degrees. There's not a lot. There's literally no wind today, so it wasn't like a breeze that I had. It was just kind of dead sun. I was fine for about the first 15 holes. Then I was starting to get a little fatigued at the end. I was like, I said I was gonna play 27. I'll still play 27. I have time to do it. That That was a pretty bad mistake. Should have just played 18 because I was whooped. And I had water with me and everything. I had 2 bottles of water for those last, like, 9 holes. But, man, it was taxing. I think it was just not playing or not walking around the golf in about a month. I was kind of, like, out of shape to walk, especially to do more than 18 holes. And it wore me out. I'm not going to lie. That's, like, I think the most worn out I've ever been playing golf because I usually don't get worn out playing golf. I'm usually well-conditioned, but, yeah, that got to me. So when I got home, I made sure I kicked this fan on right before the stream. I need to cool off. I chugged another water when I got home. I drank, like, half the one that I have on the table still. Harvick crowding Kyle Busch down the backstretch. He'll make the block cleanly, though. Busch going to try the outside. Oh, he almost got to the corner panel. Harvick going to block upstairs as well. Going high, going low. Look at all the blocks Harvick is pulling to try and hang on to the lead. It's how important it is to lead every single lap for these 2 drivers. Trying to battle for the most laps led and every amount of bonus points they can get. Because as they have been running for most of the middle portion of the season especially, it is going to be a barn burner for the season-long championship. Busch down low, Harvick up high. Both cars have pretty good handling that they're able to run side by side through the corner. Kyle sends it off into 1 and 2. Will he pull clear? Harvick still trying to stay up high. Busch is clear. Harvick trying to get back underneath him. He gets a little loose in the tri-oval. Barely keeps it off the wall, but look at the ground. Kyle Busch is able to pull away with it. Jose Sanchez, welcome to the stream. Harvick inside Busch. Shot out of a cannon through 3 and 4, all clear. Been a really good race, really good battle for the lead. These guys have been super aggressive, but they have been clean with one another. And again, Busch. Back to the inside of Kevin Harvick. Surprised nobody else is closing in. Harvick trying to pinch and side draft Busch into 3 and 4. Oh, man, they almost made contact off the exit of the corner. At the line, Kyle Busch leads the lap. He's trying to side draft Harvick back. These guys are battling really hard. It's like it's the last lap of the race. Through 1 and 2, is Busch going to clear off the exit of the corner? Oh, he tried, and they made contact. And Harvick drives it in too deep, getting into 3. Busch a little aggressive, trying to pull up and block Harvick. He wasn't clear. They made contact and stalled out the 21 car, and Busch holds on to the lead. Harvick taking about an entire lap to try and just battle to the back bumper again. Looks low. Busch trying to go even lower. It's going hand in hand. Chicagoland known as one of the better mile and a halves. Proven why here today. What a race. Oh, Busch squeezes Harvick. He just about wrecked him. He's in the grass now. Into turn 3, sliding up the racetrack. Had to get on the brakes to keep from hitting Busch, who was on the outside. what a save by Kevin Harvick down into the grass after Kyle Busch tried to pull another block down the back straightaway and pinched him off, and they just about wrecked each other that time. Now, Harvick definitely got the worst end of it. It wasn't much contact, but it doesn't take much. Running at speeds at the entrance of these corners at over 180 miles an hour. Ashton G, welcome to the stream. Ours one boy, welcome back. Trying to charge after Kyle Busch. Definitely don't want a DNF. I was jamming the brakes because I was so low in the grass trying to make the corner that I was sliding all the way up the track, and luckily Busch cleared before we made it to him. Because if I didn't hit the brakes, we would have cleaned each other out. We should have pit stops, if I had to assume, the next 20 to 25 laps at the most. Yeah, stage racing was introduced to NASCAR in 2017. So prior to 2017, there were no stage racing. And this game takes place back in 2004. It's 2005, but it's kind of like when you get a new car and it's for whatever reason. I mean, EA does it with all their games. You know, Madden's always like the next year. It's weird the way they do it. But this is actually the 2004 season, even though it's NASCAR 05. And 06 would be the 05 season. So on and so forth. We ran Thunder 04, that was technically the 2003 season. Harvick going to lead this lap at the line on Kyle Busch, but Busch is battling back again. Look at him squeezing Harvick now. Harvick gets into him. Oh, no. Rushes the wall. These two are going to have to settle down a little bit. There's still 150 plus laps to go. Yeah. Did you guys hear the crew chief on that? Crew chief's like, go ahead and go on by. He's not going to block. Yeah, right. He's already blocked us twice, and he made contact both times. Sent us into the grass already. A little false advertisement from whoever Kevin Harvick's crew chief was back in 2004 in the Busch series. The tire's starting to wear out a little bit more. Surprised it wasn't wearing out sooner. Harvick drove it in way too deep into turns 1 and 2. Kyle Busch finished 5th at Daytona yesterday. Kevin Harvick finished 7th. That's how Busch was able to gain just a tiny bit of ground. Harvick led some laps to get 5 bonus points. Kyle Busch didn't lead any laps, so he got 0 bonus points. Total net gain for Kyle Busch, 4+ points over Kevin Harvick. Which, when you can score up to 190 points in a race, it's just crazy how equal these two are on equal basis. And now here they are running 1-2 again. Harvick in a deficit of 12 points coming in. And even Bobby Hamilton Jr. is only minus 70, and he was been running 3rd for quite some time in this race, although he's not really battling for the lead. Right there. Harvick back to the inside of Kyle Busch through the tri-oval. Busch trying to block high. Harvick with a bit of a crossover again, and he should clear him off the exit of turn 2, and does. Busch coming back after the bottom, though. He is there. Busch with a crossover of his own. Clear. Harvick going back after him again. What a battle. Oh, way up the track. This is a lot of fun from my part, though, I do have to say. Oh, my goodness. These are pulling off all the stops. Been an incredible first 50 laps. Harvick a little loose into 3. Now these two teams going to have to rely on their pit crews. It's just crazy how even though they battle this hard, they are still pulling away from everybody else. Kyle Busch just about got the wall off in turn 4 now. Harvick's car is definitely getting a tad looser. These older tires now that we're over 50 laps in. Busch looks for the lead. Sliding way up the track, but so is Kyle Busch. Harvick with that little bit of a wiggle. Is that the opening Kyle Busch needs? Not a big enough opening. Looking up low off of turn 2. Busch with a run. It's going to be a lot harder for these guys to run right on each other's door on these extremely old tires. We've seen Harvick slide around a little bit. We've seen Kyle Busch even slide around a little bit. Harvick with a little side draft. Oh my goodness, this is tight again. Oh, they got hooked. They came off of each other quick enough, though, to make it into turn 1. Harvick holding on strong. Now into turn 3. Busch sends it off into the corner. All clear. Crossover by Harvick. And now he's all clear at the start-finish line. Another big block. Harvick almost put himself in the wall. Now down to the inside into turn 1. Every lap is the last lap between these two. How important these laps led are. Harvick couldn't get to the bottom quick enough that time. Busch is clear. Can he get the crossover again? Kyle gets a little tight. Seems like Kyle Busch is tightening up as the run's going on. Harvick is getting looser, but a little too loose at times for Harvick. It just kind of wiggles and skates. I just hope that fan's not obnoxiously loud for you guys. Patrick said that he can hear it. I know for me it sounds obnoxiously loud. Busch staying hooked to the bottom. Harvick trying to crowd him. Kyle Busch. Oh, Harvick. Way up the racetrack into 3. And again, Kyle Busch clear. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today as we're at lap 60. Busch really sent it off into turn 1. That might give Harvick a little bit better corner exit. The moment he just kind of rides behind him. Maybe you look into the outside into turn 3. Busch is like, okay, I'll give you the high side, but... Oh, Kyle Busch got a short pit now. Busch coming into the pits at lap 60. Interesting strategy. Harvick's going to take this run as long as he possibly can. With that caution back on lap 3, that's 3 caution laps. There's less laps he would have to run on fuel, and now a caution. Caution for the second time today, and that is a dream scenario for Kyle Busch. Because he just made his way to pit road. Car in the wall off of turn 4, the 128. How did everybody miss him? Somebody was on his way onto pit road and boarded at the last second before they got penalized and went through the grass. Schneider's going to stay out of the pits and keep the track position. He'll lead more laps. And it looked, well, I don't know if anybody came into the pits or not right there. Green flag back in the air, and oh my goodness. Harvick spun the tires big time. A couple cars on the inside who were a lap down. Rocket on by. Look at Kenseth up the middle. What a restart for Kenseth if he goes up the middle and gets to the lead. He's inside David Stremme right now. Harvick gets around Stremme. Matt Kenseth to the lead at Chicagoland. Harvick and Biffle right there. Harvick looking low underneath Kenseth. Oh, that got tight. Into the corner. Kenseth trying to hold on up high. Harvick clear. And now Biffle to the inside of his teammate Kenseth for second. Now the reason why Harvick stayed out of the pits there is with these cautions piling on, knowing Kyle Busch was going to get up towards the front and Harvick was going to lose a ton of track position. Not quite an eighth of a tank on fuel yet. We'll see how long Harvick can go. Can he make this a 2 pit stop race instead of a 3 pit stop race? Kyle Busch pitting at lap 60. He's committed to likely making this a 3 stop race today. Harvick a little loose getting into turn 3. Biffle looking up high. Harvick clear off the exit of the corner. Back to the inside to hold up the 32 of David Stremme. It's a little strategy game now for Harvick to try and beat the 5 of Kyle Busch. Stremme gets underneath Harvick through turns 1 and 2. Harvick trying to hold the outside. Oh my goodness. Really loose, and he almost made contact with the 32 car. Gonna side draft the 32. Look at the pole off turn 4. Harvick leads another lap. That was big. This is unbelievable that he's on old tires like this. He's still holding on to the outside. David Stremme on about 60 lap pressure tires down low. Another big side draft in the tri-oval. Harvick leads another lap. Harvick needs to find a way to pull clear of David Stremme. He gets out of the gas. He's probably going to get trained down low. He's going to have to make his way to pit road here pretty soon. Nice, he's still leading these laps on Stremme, but boy, oh boy. I don't know how much longer he could go. Almost made contact off turn 4. Harvick trying to draft off Paul Menard ahead of him. Is that going to be enough to clear Stremme down to the bottom? It is. Harvick going to stay out one more lap. He'll pit at lap 72. Hopefully he's got enough fuel to make it back around. That means he'll come off the pit lane at lap 73. Boy, it is going to be really, really close to a two-stop race. He's going to try to save fuel, drafting behind his teammate Paul Menard down the backstretch. Trey Murray in the 103 car looks like he has just blown an engine. His day will come to an end. Harvick coming to the pits. Off turn 4. Locks the tires up. He almost misses pit road. Boy, that was close. I don't think he sped. I didn't even look at the speedometer. I almost missed the pits. I was more worried about doing that. He's going to tighten it up. A half around a wedge. Only adjustment there. 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. That would have been terrible if Harvick missed pit road. I don't think he sped. I think he got down perfectly. Will the two-stop strategy work for Kevin Harvick? And boy, what a brilliant call that's going to be if he can make it. And the only reason he had a chance is because of the timing of those 2 cautions coming out in the middle of the run. The opening run, that is. So even if we get cautions and he ends up getting trapped a lap down, he still should be able to make it on 1 more pit stop. Everybody else, they're going to have to make it on 2. Most of them pitted right as the caution was coming out. The ones who didn't, they pitted at the caution. Oh, contact! Harvick checks up into turn 3. We almost had another crash. Darrell Bradford, Sean Batson got together down the backstretch. Great awareness by Harvick, who was charging hard on the fresher tires. He's going to go all the way up high. Bradford really pinched him. Harvick got into the wall. He squeezes into Batson. Hold on, everybody. Oh, my gosh. Tell you what, we were talking about Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick dominating the day. Now Matt Kenseth's got the lead. And the only reason Kyle Busch decided to go on this two-stop strategy off the whim, he wasn't planning on doing it at the start of the race. But he figured I have to do something different, or he would have lost a lot of track position pitting during that caution. Yeah, this is definitely all around a really fun game, Jose. My personal favorite NASCAR game. NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup. 3 wide in the tri-oval. Going to draft off his teammate Ron Hornaday. On the backstretch, he is trying to get every little bit of time he can. Prefer to be on the lead lap in case we get our 3rd caution of the race. Harvick gonna send it into 3. Terry Cook shut the door on him. Now Cook slides way up the racetrack off the exit of turn 4. He couldn't hold the corner, but he does clear the guy he was battling for position, which would have been the 9 car, Mark Martin. Yeah, and as far as our classic game playthroughs go, Ashton, that will be the next game that we play when we finish everything we need to here with NASCAR 2005. Still got a long ways to go, though. We got a custom schedule for every season. Once we finish the actual season that we're running right now, still with the Busch Series and the Cup Series. We already finished the Truck Series and the Modified Series for the actual 2004 season there. Now we just got to get the custom schedules of those when the time comes. Obviously, we still got to finish this stuff up, too. The only thing with this strategy is that Harvick's not going to lead a whole lot more laps left from now to the end of the race. This is the move to try and win the race, so we don't know who's going to get the most laps led at this point. And if Kyle Busch could get to the lead at some point here, that would be the last driver Kevin Harvick wants to lead the most laps today. Because if he leads the most laps and, say, finishes second, Harvick gets this fuel mileage win with a 2-stop strategy versus everybody else trying a 3-stop strategy. Harvick's only going to gain 5 points on him. Harvick with a little bump draft with Paul Menard down the backstretch. Harvick going to try the outside off turn 4 on his teammate Menard. Harvick clear into turn 1. Now he hops back down to the bottom underneath the 135 and Dwayne Borland. A little contact up there battling for the lead. David Stremme is tucked right underneath of Matt Kenseth. Now he'll look low down the backstretch. Yaley underneath of Greg Biffle for 3rd place as well. Oh, Harvick almost got squeezed by Yaley. Now Yaley has to lift and go way up the track to block Biffle. Harvick a little wide off for himself. Stremme still could not get around Kenseth. The only reason this strategy is possible because of those cautions. So although Harvick got to lap 72 before pitting here at Chicagoland, which is quite a ways, he had 6 laps of caution. Gets around Stremme. Now he's trying to get his lap back on race leader Matt Kenseth. He'll have it into turn 1. No way Kenseth's going to hold him off with those older tires. All clear in 1 and 2. So Harvick is back on the lead lap. If we get a caution now, he won't get trapped a lap down. He's got a spot up for grabs up here of Bobby Hamilton Jr. as well, who was on the worst end of that caution. One of the few drivers that actually went a lap down because of it and is on the same strategy as the leaders, unfortunately. He's on the lead lap because he got there in the restart, but still going to have to pass a whole ton of cars. Coming in just 70 points out of the lead in 3rd in points today. This is a possibly big hit here for Bobby Hamilton Jr. and making this maybe a 2-horse race for the championship between Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch, unless obviously both of those guys DNF at some point and Hamilton can still finish the year off strong. Harvick blows by Hamilton again with the pressure tires at lap 90. That was for 26th. But this is going to be a nail biter of a finish though for Harvick. Regardless, the more cautions that come out from now to the end of the race, the more of a chance Harvick can have of saving fuel to make this a two-stop race. So you got to think too, with the 6 laps of caution, he really only made it 66 green flag laps. So if I do my math correctly, from lap 72, 66 laps after that would be about lap 138. Yeah, about 138 should be the next lap Harvick will likely have to pit if we don't get another yellow. I think he can make it. Be lap 138. And then he should be good to the end from there. That would be about a 62 lap run to the checkered flag, which he should be about 4 laps to the good. He would have needed 2 cautions to do this, and he got them early. Early enough to actually commit to the strategy, too. It was before the first pit stop. So he should make it. By my calculations, we should be 4 laps to the good. Now, if we can't make it to lap 138, then I'm going to be a little scared. But if we can make it to lap 138, then my calculation should be correct. That we could go 66 laps. I just hope this works. It's not like NASCAR Heat where you can like check every lap how much fuel you have. You really have to kind of guesstimate it. Do it the old-fashioned way before they had the digital dash and all that technology they have now where they know exactly how much fuel they have in the car, and it's a lot easier to make the educated guess on strategy. No, you have to guesstimate it just like the old days with this game. This is... I mean, we're almost halfway, but it is going to be fun to find out if this is going to work. Because Harvick is literally the only driver on this strategy right now. Cap24, welcome to the stream. See what SMI did? If it was anything today, no. Not that I know of. So, what'd they do? Professional photographers to take photos without any... I don't understand what you meant by that. Unless I read it wrong. Sonoma, by the way. Well, that's one SMI track. Is it only at Sonoma that they're doing that, or is that every SMI track? SMI tracks would be Sonoma, Charlotte, which would mean the Charlotte Roval 2, Bristol, Atlanta, New Hampshire, Kentucky, which they haven't raced at. Well, they didn't race at this year, at least. Texas. Might be forgetting another one. Or I might have named them all already. I don't think I'm forgetting one. Let me know down in the chat if I forgot one, but I think I got all of them. Oh, it's only Sonoma. Well, that's weird. So they're hiring professional photographers? Oh, we got trouble off turn 4. I thought they were wrecking for sure up there. Oh, there's more contact in the tri-oval. Things are getting testy at the back of the pack here at Chicagoland as they're 3 wide. Sparks flying everywhere. So they're hiring people. They're probably not hiring then. It's probably just volunteer work. Hey, do you want to come in, take some photos for us for our website? Is essentially what they're doing, and they're trying to get somebody to come in and say, yeah, hey, I'll do it. But it's not for a paycheck, and they don't get credit for it, like the Raceway we get credit. I don't know who would want to do that. But if it's volunteer work, I mean, there's places that do that. Because when you hire somebody or you sign a contract, they have to pay you. Like, they can't not pay you. But if it's volunteer work, and they're asking if you want to volunteer, then that'd be different. Not hiring, yeah. Yeah, it's just volunteer. You want to volunteer, take pictures for the Raceway. That's all it is. It's no big deal. Harvick's back to about 21 seconds off the race lead. Up to the 24th position, but of course, he's on fresher tires right now, which is why he's cutting into that deficit. By the way, a little while ago, David Stremme took the lead away from Matt Kenseth. Harvick just hit halfway on fuel at lap 107. Yeah, there should be no reason why we can't make this race on 2 pit stops. There's drivers that pit at lap 60. I mean, unless they can... There's no way they can make it on 2 stops. Because they would have only had 1 caution from lap 60. So it'd be kind of like lap 63 full tank. 3 wide off the exit of turn 4. Underneath the 121 and the 138. Thompson and Castleberry. They might have made contact in the tri-oval back there after Harvick cleared him. So we saw one of our 2 accidents today that brought out a caution. Cal Naughton Jr., welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, they definitely are. Yeah, SMI has been they've been known for being involved in some pretty shady things back in the day. Some head scratching things, to say the least. Most recently, the Texas configuration, Texas and Kentucky configurations. They've done some good things in recent years, like the Roval, and their Bristol is still questionable in my book, but a lot of fans like the race first year in, so we'll see where that goes. I'm going for the spectacle of it next year. That and I do like dirt racing, but I just don't like Bristol on dirt necessarily. Going to Bristol for the All-Star race under the lights last year. Seeing Cup cars under the lights at Bristol in person is like me finding my long-lost child or something. I don't have any kids, so that Bristol under the lights is, I guess, as close as I've got right now. Weird analogy, but fact of the matter is, I love that racetrack. That's why I'm going back for the Bristol night race this year. Shoots right past Craig Miller on the outside. Got the run off turn 4. Ooh, contact. Getting into turn 3. .107 car. Actually opened the door for Craig Miller to gain another position. And now Greg Biffle's taking his first lead of the race. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, Matt Kenseth has won 2 of the last 3 races he has ran in the Busch Series this season. California and Charlotte. And then at Daytona yesterday, he did not get the win, but did run pretty well, got a top 10. Obviously, he's led some laps here today at Chicagoland, so he's got a shot here. Yep, last 3 races going to this year. Michigan this weekend, Bristol for the night race. I'm only seeing the Cup race this weekend at Michigan. And then I'm seeing the Truck Xfinity and Cup at Bristol and only the Cup race at Martinsville at the end of the year. Those are the rest of the races I'm going to. Sends it back to the lead again. Biffle's able to lead for about 2 laps. That was it. Enough to get 5 bonus points. Remember, Cup Series regulars can run for points. In another series. Back in the 2004 season. I believe 2010 or 2012 was the last year that they were allowing drivers to run in more than one series for points in the top 3. Lap 120 this time at the line. See if any of those drivers that pitted at lap 60 are going to make their way on the pit road this time by. Oh, it just squeezes underneath Jason Keller in the 22. Even Stremming out of the lead. So Kenseth, Stremme, and Biffle have really been battling back and forth for quite some time in this race. Really since that last restart. This is the longest green flag run so far in the race as well. Again, our 2 cautions came out at lap 3 and lap 60. And yep, there they go, lap 121. And Johnny Sauter, Terry Cook came into the pits. Harvick's all over the place off turn 4. We did have at least one driver pit the lap prior to that is making their way off over the racetrack. We had a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops last time. We'll see if we get another one right here. Greg Biffle stays out on the racetrack. I believe David Stremme came into the pits that last time. Harvick was about 14 seconds off the lead when the leaders started to hit pit road. If Harvick can make it on one stop, nobody else can. There's Kyle Busch in the 5. He'll be behind Harvick, which will mean he'll be a lap down once Harvick gets back to the lead. Matt Kenseth staying down a little bit longer as well. So with 2 cautions, Harvick made it 72 laps. We'll see how far Matt Kenseth can go. Some of these leaders. Quarter tank of fuel left here for Kevin Harvick. Kenseth still on the racetrack. 75 laps to go this time by. Kenseth will make his way to pit road this time, so he'll have 75 laps to go in this race when he comes off the pit lane. And Kevin Harvick will take the race lead. Not sure if he's going to lead this lap. No, he did not. Matt Kenseth still led that lap at the line on pit road, so it'll be an official lead change this time by. Kevin Harvick will be back in the lead at Chicagoland, logging in more laps led until he ends up having to hit pit road for his final time today. Still got some lap cars making their way onto pit road as well. As far as everybody on the lead lap goes, they have already hit the pits, which is why you see Kevin Harvick leading this race. And he should have about a lap on the field when everything cycles through. So if we do get a caution, one lucky driver will get the lucky dog free pass position, but as far as everybody else goes, we trapped a lap down. Until Harvick pits, of course. Now Harvick's the one on older tires as well. Likely going to see some other drivers start to cut into that lead again. It's one thing about these fuel mileage races is you just have to be confident that it's going to work. It'll work out in the best way imaginable, because if not, you're going to be really unsettling. Just logging in laps, hoping it works. And 9 times out of 10, when that's the case, usually you don't come home the victor. For those of you watching right now, still have another stream coming up later on tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard start time on the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. We'll be at the Kansas Speedway for race number 3 of our final season on NASCAR Heat 5 for the Career Mode. Starting off the year with 2 wins in the first 2 races, winning the Daytona 500 and our first ever road course race at Sonoma. First ever road course race win in the Cup Series, that is, on the Career Mode. We have won a couple Xfinity races on road courses, but first one on Cup, and we did it leading every single lap of the race. We'll see what today will bring. $69 laps to go now for Kevin Harvick. He still has to make his final pit stop of the race, as does everybody else. Trying to figure out who's 23 seconds off the race lead right now. That still logging in laps. As Harvick didn't lap the field when he cycled all the way through. I would have thought he was going to. At least he's got a 23-second advantage over him. It's not like they're really close. An eighth of a tank left on fuel for Kevin Harvick. Should be able to make it to 66 laps to go. He's only got to make it a couple more laps, which was his target lap. Well, not really. He had to make it to lap 138. That was his target lap. That would make it a 66 lap run, which would mean we at least know exactly how far we can go on fuel for an entire green flag run, because we had 2 cautions during the first fuel stint of the race. No cautions so far during this one. Busch finally starting to close in on those fresher tires on Kevin Harvick. Harvick got away from him when Kyle was still trying to get up to speed, making his way through turns 1 and 2 on the apron of the racetrack. Harvick definitely going to try to hold him back as much as he can here. Loose off turn 4. These two have had some great battles throughout the course of this race today. A lot of them before that second caution. Gonna be another good battle here, even though Harvick's on older tires. He's trying to hold up the 5. His fuel tank almost empty. Lap 138 at the line this time. Might have actually timed it out a little bit better. Or I just did my math wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did my math right the first time around. Kyle Busch going to get underneath Harvick through 1 and 2. And he clears him. Oh, Busch way up the track. Boy, he missed that corner. I didn't think Harvick was going to have a chance to get back around him on the older tires, but I guess he cleared him off 4 anyway. That was a massive mistake from Kyle Busch. Boy, does he want this 21 car to just pit already? Got a lot of drivers coming in right now, topping off on fuel, making their final pit stops of the race because they know the window's open. Kevin Harvick going to pit this time at lap 140. I'll give him 60 laps to go when he makes his way off of the pit lane. Then he'll just have to wait for the rest of the field to make their way on into the pits. Little wiggle getting into turn 3 by Harvick. Now Harvick almost missed pit road last time. Now he almost spun out trying to get off the banking onto pit road, but at least he didn't almost miss the pits this time. So a couple of not so clean moments trying to make his way into the pits, but he does make his way in again successfully. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel for the 21 of Harvick. No adjustments this time around versus the first time onto pit road. Greg Biffle will cycle as the race leader. But that is Kevin Harvick's final stop of the day. Make his way back up onto the racetrack now, down the backstretch. 13th is where Harvick will be placed. I believe he was about right around here, like 15th, I think is where we were running when the pit stop started. So position-wise, now granted we did see like 5 or 6 cars pit, which would make sense. They just topped off on fuel as soon as that window opened at the end of the race. About 2 laps before Harvick hit the pits. Well, now Harvick just got to hope it stays green to the finish from now. Easier said than done when it's out of his control, but if it stays green to the finish of this race, Harvick has this thing on lock. There's no way they're going to beat him. He's got about 20 lap fresher tires. So we'll start to cut into that deficit a little bit more again. Everybody else could probably make it anywhere between 10 to 20 laps to go before having to pit, but they're definitely going to have to pit a third time. Really, the only thing is now is who, again, is going to lead the most laps. We knew Harvick wasn't going to lead a lot from the time of deciding to do a 2-stop strategy versus 3. But on ovals, the less stops you can make, it's usually the best option. And boy, Kevin Harvick just outsmarted the field today. He wouldn't have been able to do it without the 2 cautions. And because he did not pit before the first 2 cautions, that's why he decided to stay out those extra 5 or 6 laps before pitting. And going green this entire time has only helped him up to this point. Because it's gone green this entire time, up into that last stop for him, now he definitely needs this to play green. Because if we get a caution, then everybody else is going to be able to pit under yellow. Kevin Harvick's up to 10th place right now. But he would probably have to pit as well, or he's going to be on older tires than everybody else to the end of the race. So strategy will get thrown out the window at that point. Kenseth hops back to the lead, passing his teammate Greg Biffle through turns 3 and 4. 53 laps to go for Matt Kenseth at the start-finish line. He's the 128 car. He brought out that second caution of the race after spinning on his own in turn 4. Those cars were a lap down that Harvick just passed. Those guys having to pit with, let's say Kenseth pits with about 10 laps to go. He was the last of the leaders to hit pit road. Does Matt Kenseth go fuel only instead of taking tires to try and get as quick of a stop as possible? Even if that happens, 13 seconds is not going to be enough to hold on to the lead. They're still going to have older tires, so Harvick is easily still going to win this race, barring the caution, of course. But it'd be a good call for Kenseth to make sure he stays in second. Or really, anybody to try and jump some positions late in this race, not just Kenseth. Especially Biffle and Stremme, who are right there around him. You'd have to assume they're still around him. Kyle Busch maybe to get back into it. We know he's got a fast race car. Kyle Larson fan, welcome to the stream. Harvick underneath Paul Menard. Not for position. Menard's a lap down. Harvick clears him down the backstretch. .50 laps to go at the Chicagoland Speedway. Harvick back to about 11.2 seconds off the lead, just chipping away. Get through this traffic slowly but surely. With these fresher tires, there's no way those guys are going to be able to make it all the way to the finish. Tim Irvin, welcome to the stream. And we are live. Yes, we are. Sadler giving a whole bunch of room for Kevin Harvick to get underneath him. All right, well, hopefully you had a good day at work, Tim. Parker really squeezing him. That's fourth position. Now they're 3 wide into turn 1. Sean Batson and Link Brantley on the outside. Brantley was involved in the first accident of the day back on lap 3. Harvick got by everybody. A little bit of a tight squeeze, but got into it. Now Batson way up the racetrack. Looks like Brantley's going to cross him back over. Luke Castleberry, Manny Brown giving plenty of room for Harvick as well. There's Kyle Busch just up ahead. I thought that caution earlier in the race back at lap 60 was going to be really good for Kyle Busch. But he hasn't led any laps since, and he's currently in the 6th position. I think one of the lap cars just got in the wall off turn 4 after Harvick cleared him. And so, yeah, there goes Harvick. Kyle Busch just going to let him go. Surprised he didn't try to put up a fight like Harvick did with him earlier. Knowing that these guys are racing for the championship, but I think Kyle Busch's crew chief told him to just let Harvick go, let the 21 go. He's on fresher tires. And Kyle Busch still has to pit to the end of the race. Harvick does not. He should make it on fuel. Yep, NASCAR Heat 5 career mode still coming up today. Doubleheader on the channel. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or sorry, not 6:30. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard start time at the Kansas Speedway on the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. Race number 3. I think when Harvick came off of the pit lane, he was about 16 seconds off the lead, so he's already cut that deficit in a little over half. Being about 7.5 seconds or so off the race lead now from Matt Kenseth. Greg Biffle, David Stremme still up there. Though haven't seen Stremme as much since the last green flag pit stop, so almost kind of wondering if maybe he had a slower stop than the 60 and the 17. No, I was sticking with Toyota in the Cup Series. Trust me, I'm a Ford guy. Blaney drives a Ford. Biffle drove a Ford, and he was my favorite driver growing up. I'm a Ford fan when it comes to NASCAR. I have a Mustang myself, but stick with the Camrys for the rest of NASCAR Heat 5 just to... I mean, we won our Xfinity Championship with them. Switching manufacturers from year 1 to year 2. Won the Rookie of the Year in the Cup Series Season 1, finished 5th in points. Off to a hot start here, Season 2. We're sticking with Toyota. By the way, that pass on Mark Martin getting into Turn 1 was 4 position as well, so now Harvick is back inside the top 5. Making his way through the field on about 20 lap pressure tires. Lead cut down to about 6 seconds now between Matt Kenseth and the 5th place car of Harvick. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles for the next 4 laps. It'll be the final time today, and then we'll go back to that far chase cam for the rest of the race. Big run on the 20 of Mike Bliss. Couple of lap cars. All clear down the back straightaway. Move up so that way he can enter into the quarter a little bit better. A lot easier on his race car too. Arc it off. Under 4.5 seconds. There's David Stremme. He's back. Well, he's still in 3rd. J.J. Yaley's in 4th up here. He's about 4 seconds off the lead, so he definitely had a lot slower stop than the 60 and the 17. Toothy, welcome to the stream. Flying through on fresh tires. Underneath Yaley off turn 4. Actually, Yaley's not even for position. I thought he was going to be for position. Harvick just completely missed turn 1. Yaley going to get back around him. Surprised JJ Yaley is a lap down. I thought he was up there earlier. He must have been one of the lap cars that got trapped a lap down with that caution in the middle of green flag stops back at lap 60. Harvick gets back around him again. Maybe Ron Hornaday's on the lead lap. Just have to wait and see. 31 laps to go. David Stremmy's been blocking the heck out of Kevin Harvick since Harvick closed in on him. He's got that little extra grip. He didn't quite get all the way to the bottom. Stremme went high. Harvick more towards the middle lane, and Harvick will still clear Stremme off turn 4 for 4th place. Now I wonder who is in 3rd. We'll see if it's Hornaday in the 2 car. Three wide in the tri-oval. Harvick way down low. Muscles his way by Hornaday. There's Biffle as well, who's held up in lap traffic. They were battling for position. Harvick just slingshots around all of them, and he's up to 2nd. And Hornaday going to cross over, follow his teammate Harvick. Inside the lap car as well, clearing Greg Biffle off turn 4 for 3rd. 2.5 seconds off the lead for Harvick on 20 lap pressure tires. These leaders still have to pit yet. In about 10 to 20 laps to go, they'll make their final stop. Harvick should be good on field to the end with a 2-stop strategy. Outsmarting the field today, making his race a little easier as far as the race win goes. Big mistake into turn 1 for Harvick. Bugs Bunny. Halfway on fuel, coming to 25 laps to go this time by. Harvick should be plenty good to the finish. 1.5 off the lead into turn 1 now. Kenseth's dealing with some extra lap traffic right in front of him as well. Harvick does want to get to the lead as soon as possible, see if he might have a chance to lead the most laps. And Kenseth could still go probably anywhere between 5 to 15 more laps on fuel. Probably closer to that 15 lap range. He was the last of the lead lap cars to pit for his 2nd stop. What are these Looney Tunes references for? Gene Martin getting plenty of room to the 2nd place car, Harvick. Kenseth's still got one more lap car. in front of him, about another car length to 2 car lengths ahead of him. And Harvick is now a half a second off the lead and charging. Kenseth missed the corner. Has to run the middle now. He's trying to put Bobby Hamilton Jr. a lap down. I think for Harvick, as far as the points go, Hamilton is third. Only 70 points off the lead. Harvick came in second, just 12 points off the lead. So we get around Bobby Hamilton Sr. in turns 1 and 2 as well. And now here we go. Here's the battle for the lead with 22 laps left. Harvick on 20-lap pressure tires. I would have to assume they might be pretty close to even out by now, but Harvick's still ripping his way through the field, and he is going to clear Harvick off turn 4. Harvick clears Harvick. No, Harvick clears Kenseth off turn 4 for the lead. 21 laps to go. Lead change at the line, and the 21 is back in front. And now trying to protect and hopefully pull away. Kenseth almost gets into the wall off turn 2. Now Harvick just needs it to stay green to the end of the race. That is the big thing now, is let it stay green. Let Kenseth run it out of fuel. He will not make it. Harvick left a decent amount of bottom open, and here comes Kenseth. 20 to go. And Harvick's still going to battle him because he wants a chance to lead the most laps, especially considering Kenseth has probably led the most up to this point. Since the strategy started taking place, nice crossover. Kenseth never officially took the lead back. Harvick led by about a half a car length. Some more lap cars coming up pretty soon as well. Side by side up there. Harvick kind of overdrove the corner, pushed up the racetrack on the exit. Kenseth couldn't get back underneath him, though. Oh! Little door check. Didn't hurt anybody much. Very light contact. Luckily, they were on the backstretch when it happened. Oh, lap car trying to pit. Kenseth moved up the track a little bit and almost crowded Harvick. Harvick trying to draft now up Terry Cook through the tri-oval, seeing how much it might help him. Cook gonna give the leaders a little bit of room to run down low. Harvick's up the middle now, 3 wide. Through turns 1 and 2, both Kenseth and Harvick clear Cook off the exit of turn 2. And now into turn 3. Kenseth with a block off 4. Tried it. He wasn't quite clear. Kenseth did lead that lap. A lot more leaders have been coming into the pits the last couple laps. Jeez. Oh, hang on. More sparks are flying. Kenseth has the lead again off 4. Crossover now by Matt Kenseth. Harvick actually led that lap. Clear into 1. Kenseth's putting up a fight. He's going to run the car empty on fuel. Trying to do it, but... And there goes Kenseth onto pit road with 15 laps to go. His final stop in the race. Leaving Harvick out in front. And now, the question is, will we stay green to the finish? 12 laps to go. 1 lap lead on the field right now for Kevin Harvick. So everybody on the lead lap has already hit the pits for their final time today. Which means if we get a caution, one driver would get the free pass, but they'd have to restart at the rear of the field. And Kevin Harvick should make it on field to the end of the race. What a run for this 21 team, and what a strategy call on the whim. Came into the race thinking it was going to be a 3-stop race for everybody. And it was going to be a 3-stop race. Caution came out in the middle. Well, first we had a caution on lap 3, so that helped everybody save a little bit of fuel. 3 laps worth under the yellow. Then we had another caution at lap 60, where we had most of the field either on pit road or had already pit. Kevin Harvick was able to stay out, save 3 more laps of fuel. So he saved 6 laps of fuel under the cautions, leading to him not having to pit until lap 72 under green. And we stayed green the rest of the race, letting this play out, as you just saw. Race leader for a large part of the race now, Matt Kenseth, hit pit road with 15 to go. He's short pitted. He probably could have made it a little bit longer, but I think he just decided to come in and not lose too much time to everybody else who had already pit. Because I think he could have made it closer to about 10 laps to go. But either way, he was going to have to surrender, and now Harvick leads with 9 laps to go, coming to 8 to go. And what a 2-stop strategy call that this has been for the 21 team. Saved enough fuel under those 2 cautions to be able to do it. And if we didn't get any cautions today, this wouldn't have even been possible. And he would have just pit when everybody else did earlier in the race. Next race for the NASCAR Busch Series season will be race number 20. We'll have 15 races to go to deciding the champion, and the next race will be at the Magic Mile at New Hampshire. Not sure exactly when that stream is going to be, but that is the next race for the NASCAR Busch Series season here on the NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 video game. Now the next question is, obviously we'll stay green to the end, but also where will Kyle Busch finish? We know Harvick's going to win, and another question, can Harvick lead the most laps, leading these final 7 now? The other driver who I'm thinking would lead the most laps is Matt Kenseth. We'll see. Five laps to go now for Harvick. In the stat book, by the margin of victory, it's going to look like Harvick dominated the day. That was not the case, but what a strategy call. Again, most of the field had already pit, so they were committed to a 3-stop strategy. Harvick, who hadn't pit, was like, okay, let's stay out under the caution instead of pitting and see if we could stretch this and make it a 2-stop race, and boy, did it work. 4 laps to go. 3 wide into turn 1 with the lap cars to his outside, the 86 and the 109. Sean Batts on the 157 right around there as well. Harvick clear off turn 2. Made it look easy. Yeah, you're right there, Justin. I actually saw that the other day that that stream had hit 10,000 views, so appreciate it. For all you guys that watch the streams and watch the videos on the channel. That's pretty cool. 2 laps to go for Kevin Harvick. No cautions come out on the final lap on these NASCAR EA Sports video games. And wow, there we go. Crew chief just gave Harvick the word when he crossed the start-finish line. Not only 2 laps to go, but Harvick has just clinched the most laps led. So boy, that was close to leading the most laps. That was the only risky thing with the strategy call, was surrendering the race lead for quite some time. And Kenseth led a lot of laps today, but not quite as many as Harvick. Harvick's going to lead a couple more laps than Kenseth, and that's the difference right there. If Kenseth could have stayed out those extra 5 laps I thought he could, Kenseth would have had a good chance of leading the most instead of Harvick, but Harvick will take it. Half a lap to go now as we're on the final lap. There it is, checker flag in the air. Off turn 4, Kevin Harvick will win. Bouncing back after a 7th place topsy-turvy day at Daytona to winning and leading the most laps in the Twister 300 at Chicagoland. Look at that burnout. Look at all the smoke. That's a burnout right there. Kevin Harvick, well known for being able to do that with all the wins in the Cup Series and the Busch Series in his day. So we'll look at some stats here, starting off with the race results. Kevin Harvick with a win in just under 2 hours race time here today for race number 1 of the doubleheader. 77 of the 200 laps led for Harvick. Matt Kenseth led 70 laps today, so Harvick leading the most. 36 lead changes. Most of those came in those first 60 laps, believe it or not. There was a little bit, I guess, between Kenseth, Biffle, and Stremme there for a little while as well. Right around 80 laps to go. They were battling for the lead at the time, so... Margin of victory, 1 lap. Harvick lapped the field, but it was only because he pitted 1 less time than everybody else, stretching the tank and making on 2 stops versus everybody else on 3. So although it was a fuel strategy win and kind of a fuel mileage win, we knew when we pitted that last time that we were going to make it because we should have been about 4 laps at least to the good. And we actually ended up saving 2 extra laps of fuel in that second run. So we should have been about 6 laps to the good on fuel there right at the very end of the race. But Harvick with the win, Matt Kenseth second, Ron Hornaday third, Greg Biffle fourth, and David Stremme rounds out the top 5. Mark Martin 6th, Kyle Busch back to 7th. He led 29 laps today. So 5 bonus points for him. But Harvick getting 10, getting the win, getting that max points day will give Kevin Harvick the points lead over Kyle Busch. Billy Parker 8th, Casey Atwood 9th, and Kenny Wallace backing up his Daytona win with a top 10, finishing 10th. As far as the DNFs in this race today, let's see here. Tim Fedewa blew an engine early on. Trey Murray blew an engine. Corey Haynes blew an engine. Wally Renshaw blew an engine with 20 laps to go. And those were the only drivers to DNF. We had 4 failures to finish the race. So now we'll take a look at the point standings again. We'll see what that will grow out to be for Kevin Harvick, who came in 12 points below Kyle Busch coming into the day. We'll see how far back Bobby Hamilton Jr. fell as well. I believe he fell back a little bit. Next race is the New England 200 at New Hampshire. I'm not sure exactly when that stream will be. Probably sometime next week. And there it is. So Harvick came in 12 points below Kyle Busch. He comes out of Chicagoland with a 27-point lead over Kyle Busch for second. Bobby Hamilton Jr. had a rough day today. It's going good for him early. He got trapped a lap down because of the caution. And obviously finished a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down by the end of the race because of the strategy from Harvick. So definitely a bad day for him. He lost 60 points. The good thing is, though, is Harvick beat Kyle Busch, so he didn't lose. He lost 60 points to the leader, but he lost more points than that to Kyle Busch. As you see, he's about 97 back behind him now. So it could have been worse if Busch would have had an even better day than Harvick. But either way, 130 points back. He's still within one race worth of points. Ron Hornaday back there, 5th, 215 back, 255 back to Stremme, 336 to Yaley. Again, I'd say the top 8 still have a chance at least to win the championship, but as of right now, still looking like a 3-horse race. Can't count any of those 4th or 5th place guys. You never know. Top 3 all DNF. They're right back in it, too. So that is going to be it here for this one. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I'll see you guys in a little bit over an hour when we do the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode at Kansas. Should be another good one. We've had 2 good races so far to start that final season. So thanks, everybody, and see you later on today.